Squad.
What up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Squad Talk. It's your boy DJ Mav coming at you. I'm in here today with SuckaPunch Productions. Make some noise for them. There's the noise. Gama and Robert. What's going on, brother? How you guys doing?
Doing great. Good.
Doing good? Don't go all shy on me now. You guys had a good vibe before we started recording. Now you all stiff.
We're in there like swimwear, buddy.
You let me know. I get some more beers out for you.
All right.
All right, man. So SuckaPunch Productions, you guys do events, right? All over California?
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yeah.
And for all different types of music.
Yep.
Right? You want to talk about that for a second? What kind of events?
Yeah, so when we first started, it was mostly just local shows, local artists, bands.
Can you get that mic closer to you a little bit?
Bands, hip-hop artists, small venues. Man, we had like 100-cap venue. Like we would do shows at, consistently.
And you guys do anything from punk, metal, hip-hop?
Yeah, so at first it was just like in this valley, you could do a little local show with every single genre on it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And people would come out, they want to drink, they want to have fun, and we would just have a good time. It kind of changed for us later on. We started doing more, I guess, like stuff I grew up on, like the roots. More hip hop, more punk. And then we just started focusing on that instead of a lot of different genres. And then we started slowly getting into more and more genres. And now we will do everything. We have a great team behind us. And yeah, it's been a good run so far. We have venues all over California now, reaching from Sacramento to Bakersfield, to Santa Cruz, Palmdale.
And now when you guys do your shows, you do kind of like split the shows as far as like you won't have a hip hop show and a metal show at the same time, will you? No, you just kind of do different dates for stuff like that.
Yeah, it depends on the town. So like we had, we had a show. I had a ska show. And then at the same time, at a hyper pop show like in Santa Cruz. So we'll do, it just depends what city we're in. But we won't do two shows on the same night in the same city.
Right.
You know what I mean? But we definitely do two shows at the same time. So for the Dizzy Wright show on April 30th.
Nice plug.
Nice plug. So yeah, Dizzy Wright show on April 30th over at the Cold Crush. Make sure to be there. We're up in Santa Cruz that same night for Agent Orange, which is a old school punk band, and you know what I mean. So we're doing double duty that night. So the team will be separated a little bit.
Cool. Yeah. Let's go ahead and take it back to where it first started. How did you guys both end up getting into the event industry? Were you guys, when you guys were younger in your college days, were you guys big party guys, always throwing events, stuff like that? Or were you more like introverted and then somehow you were like, let me just start doing events?
Oh, that's
how did that happen?
That's your B-boy and B-boxing days, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in a crew, Post crew, you know what I mean? We would always go out and chill, and I was the one that would do the house parties, man. I would go out there and I'd get someone to like get a flyer, and be just like some house party shit. And sorry.
No, you're good. This is a podcast, so you're good.
You're
good.
And no cover charge. Bring your own beer type stuff. Just trying to go out there, have fun. My first official show, was in 2001 at the Cedar Center. I was about 20 or 19 years old, and it was a b-boy show. It was like I had like beatbox battles and b-boy battles and graffiti battles and stuff like that. And at 19, like I flew some judges out from like the UK and stuff like that. So I kind of like always wanted to be involved with this, and I try to do more than what everybody else was doing. So because that's what really separates you from like an average person. I don't do average shit. You know what I mean?
Nice. I like that. Yeah. I don't do average shit.
Yeah, and I think that's like the natural progression of shit. You start with like house parties. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You start running little house parties, little yard parties, and then if you just really like that, you just move forward and do what you do.
Yeah, what seems to be very common in like the promotions world, right? With DJing, it's like, I guess it could go either or, because I've met some DJs that like started doing like house parties in high school or whatever, and then I met other DJs that were just like super introverted and just bedroom DJs, and then somehow they had a buddy that was like an extroverted person and was like, my buddy's a DJ, let me bring him along. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm definitely the extrovert, man. I'm the spokesman a lot, but I have a huge team behind me.
Yeah.
So everybody always thinks it's just me. It's not just me. SuckaPunch is there's a lot of people involved. My wife's one of my biggest supporters. But like there's a lot of different moving parts. You know what I mean? Because we do so many different genres. We have someone who really primarily helps us with a lot of our hip hop shows. I do a lot of the punk shows. We have another guy that does a lot of Spanish shows. Like, we have Robert. We have like a couple other people involved. It's like there's a team involved with this. But I'm known more, I think, because of how outspoken I am all the time. I'm the face kind of, but it's because I'm always out there, really pushing us, and I believe in everything that we're doing. Mm-hmm. So it's really easy for me to talk about it. So if somebody starts talking to me about SuckaPunch, I'll be like, oh yeah, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're really doing this, because I really feel like what we do is special. You know what I mean?
That's dope. Now, what about you two? How'd you guys become a couple?
We're progressive couples.
How'd you guys meet? I mean, at some point, did you guys go to high school together? Did you guys?
Actually, through one of his crew homies, I was setting up car shows when I got out here. Just for the company that I was with, I was doing car shows and like job fairs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the company kind of went under, and I was like, well, damn, what am I gonna do now? And my homeboy was like, hey, I got a homie. He's along the same lines as you are, man. He's like, you should hit him up. Went and met this fool and been rolling with him ever since, basically.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
He's a great partner because he's a lot more organized than I am.
It's crazy how that works, because I have a partner as well in my, we have a production company. We don't do like events. We do like the sound and lighting side of things. And I feel like that really helps when you have a partner. You guys are kind of like opposites, but you can kind of complement each other well.
Yeah.
So that seems to work really well, because if you have two people that are exactly the same, maybe you happen to have the same weaknesses or something.
No, that's true, because we can't have two unorganized people. I went through a lot of partners, man, doing this too. So yeah. I was like, okay, this guy does pretty good business. I've worked with them.
Let me fix your mic.
Oh shit, my bad. All right.
Yeah, you just got to talk right into it.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, I worked with a lot of different people, and it was just there was never a good fit, Mm-hmm. I don't want to be forced or feel forced to work with somebody. It needs to be, like, natural. So,
yeah, when
Robert came in, I was like, this is, like, going to be the partner, you know what I mean? But I still put him through the trials. He could tell you it was not easy.
Yeah.
Hell no. Hell no.
But I had a test, you know what I mean? Because I was looking for someone to build for the long haul. I was done with these, like, trying to do it, trying to feel people out. I was like, I'm really going to do this right. I'm not going to just open the door very quickly this time. I'm going to we're going to date for a while for sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now we're married, so.
There you go.
That's one way to put it. Fuck.
Yeah.
So. It does feel that way with my partner. It does feel like I'm married to him, because even when we do our taxes, like, because legally we're 50-50 on that, it's like I'm not married yet, right? But I got a girlfriend, and it's almost like he knows more about me than she does, because we do our taxes together, and he sees the numbers that come in and out, and it's just like, it's like, damn, man, it's like we're really married, Yeah. And then when we have to make decisions that are going to affect the company as far as money, it's like I got to let him know, or he's got to let me know, like, hey, listen, so this X, Y, and Z with the money, and this, kind of like in a couple, right?
So I have a lot of I won't say I make a lot of the money decisions. What I do is I'll be like, I have this great idea, and I'll tell him the idea, and he'll be like, well, like, he never says no. But he'll tell me in a way where I'm like, maybe that's not a good idea.
Yeah.
and that's a big like a big thing about any partnership. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, you get emotional about when you first get this opportunity. You're like, oh, this is dope.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, well, think about it. Because there's a little bit of, you got to be kind of analytical when you think about your things. And
Yep. Big facts.
Take a step. It's normally we run with it anyway, but
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny how that works, man. Okay, cool. So as far as how you guys got started, you kind of gave the background on that and how you guys met. What about when you first started doing events together? What is some of the things that you guys have learned over time about putting events together? You know, you guys have a lot of experience in throwing events.
You know, everybody wants a piece of everything. You know what I mean? I felt that keeping our circle small made us be more successful. There's a lot of people that coattail for sure, and a lot of people that want to ride your wave of success as well, but not want to do any work. So
I've been here since day one, homies, but ain't putting nothing in.
yeah, so like I mean, me and Robert will work our 9 to 5 and drive to Oxnard for a 30-minute meeting that does nothing for us and drive back.
Yeah. For real.
We've done trips to Santa Cruz. We did 10 hours of driving in a 24-hour period to go put up flyers in a town we're not from. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like we've done all kinds of crazy stuff that for the week couldn't handle. You know what I mean? But we're out here continuously pushing.
Right.
Bro, I pull double duties on the weekends, man.
Yeah.
Ain't no joke. I work weekends.
Right.
So I'm in at work at like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, out at 3 o'clock, head straight to the show, there till 1, back at work at 4.
Damn. But you got to do that stuff,
Yeah.
right? Like you got to always do that. And that's one of the things that with social media nowadays is so easy for people to get inspired, right? Like they see all these inspirational quotes, but there's like a lot less people that actually follow through with a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, I just had a conversation about that like I was talking to my son, and I was like, man, there's so many people that be like all this positive talk, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't go further than that.
Yes.
It's like you want to just be like, oh, you know, I'll just wish it to come true or something, but you ain't doing the work for it to come true.
Yeah.
So when I first met Robert, he came to my office at work, and we did the whole conversation, whatever. And I just want to bring this up. I told him I don't ever sleep, bro. Like when the world's asleep, I'm working, and because like that's how much like hustle and motivation I have. And he was like, yeah, I don't sleep either. He's all, call me anytime I wake up, I'll answer your call and shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, because like him being on that same level with me, because that's how I run, man. Like I just, you know, I feel like I work in my sleep sometimes. Like I wake up with ideas. You know,
So wakes up excited, bro.
No, I woke up this morning and I was like, oh, I should send that email for this tour. I was like, I want to like route a tour coming up, and I was like, oh, I should send that email for the tour. And I forgot that I sent it already. I
there
sent
you
it
go.
before bed. I woke up and said, oh, I already sent it. And like, you know, I was dreaming it, I guess. I don't know.
And a lot of people that are like, oh yeah, you know, fuck working a 9 to 5. I want to be an entrepreneur. And it's like, bro, you realize that like doubles your hours.
Yeah.
It doubles your hours in work, bro. It means you got to put in twice as much effort, stay up just twice as long.
Yep.
Do 2 times the work. You're like, you're not ready for that.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. And sometimes, honestly, like I feel like a lot of times people shit on a 9 to 5, but it's kind of important to have that in the beginning, right?
Of course, yeah.
Because we're all adults. We got bills to pay. We got to do these things. And if you have a 9 to 5 and you're starting your side hustle or whatever, eventually at some point you can get rid of the 9 to 5. But in the beginning, you need that money coming in. You know what I'm saying?
The 9 to 5 pays your bills. The side hustle makes you rich.
Yeah, and I find a lot of people that will like be against. I find this a lot in artists. They'll be against having a 9 to 5, but they don't have any money for studio time, for mixing and mastering, to buy beats, any of the stuff that they need to be an artist.
Right. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, bro, get a 9 to 5. Like it's all good. You don't have to be ashamed of it. You know what I'm saying?
People
Like
fight that 9 to 5 thing. It's kind of crazy to me. I'm like, dude, just do the 9 to 5 and work. And I do the 9 to 5 and I'm still thinking about my side business.
yeah.
Like it don't ever stop. Like it's consistently in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
I know it's in the back of his mind. I know it's in the back of my partner's mind. It's what we like live this shit. You know what I mean? So the biggest difference between us and a lot of other promoters, man, is they do a lot of janky, a lot of like quick, you know, stuff. You know what I mean? You could see it. We'll go to shows and that aren't ours or something, and like the sound sucks or like production isn't good.
Although they'll cut corners on like some of the most important things.
I mean, like the crowd is having fun, but for me going in there, I don't really go there to critique. I'm trying to go have fun too, but I'm like, wow, like I could see all the levels of what they cut corners on.
That's a crazy side effect, because until I was fucking with him, I could enjoy a show.
Yeah.
Now I'm at a show and I'm like, I wonder how much that lighting is. Look at that fucking scaffolding. Damn, how much security do they got here?
Well, yeah.
All that, like, you know,
That's the world of production. I mean, I'm in production too, but I'm on the tech side of things. Yeah. I can't ever go to a show and just enjoy a show without looking at the PA or judging the mix. You know what I mean? Or like just thinking about, or trying to go up to front of house and be giving him my freelance card. Like, hey, by the way, here's my card.
We had like at first I didn't know much about production. I've dove in pretty well, but people will talk about like, oh, like we got this, we got that, and then I'll be like, this is like Guitar Center stuff.
Yes,
like, this isn't even like.
Yes.
Now I'm like I know the levels of it, so I'm like, first off we wouldn't even be I don't want to work nowhere that really fucks with Guitar Center shit. Not to say anything bad about it, but
it's Guitar Center. I mean, I'm just saying
we need like industry sound if we're gonna bring national artists out.
Of course,
I need to make sure that I look good, I look well. You know, and sometimes, you know, like we just want to make sure that maybe not the first time, but you know, we have advice or guidance for venues and stuff like that too, to be like, hey, you know, you guys should probably invest in this and this and that.
Yeah, it's
not going to affect the show, it's not going to affect the tour or anything like that, but you know, in the long run, you should just make sure that you have like, you know, the standard, like, or above the standard. Because it's impressive when you go to a venue and you see some really good stuff. You know,
yeah, you see like a acoustic PA, you're like, okay.
You get a little excited. You're like, all right.
They know what's up. You know what I mean?
We've gone places where, you know, $100,000 PA easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They got sound techs that come from all over the world. Like it's crazy. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like the levels that there is, you know. And of course, a smaller venue can't do some of those things. Mm-hmm. But you know, equipment and, you know, sound production and lighting is just so crucial when you go to the next level. You know?
Yes.
And you know that more than anybody. You know, probably more than me.
And I'm glad to hear you guys say that, because not a lot of people know that. You know, like it takes people that are in the business to understand that. You know, some people will think it's just a light is just a light. You know, a speaker is just a speaker or whatever, right? Or like, actually, my uncle volunteers at church on Sundays to mix the band, so I'm sure he could do it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not like that, you know? So there's a lot of levels to it, you know, and then there's levels to all kinds of shit, you know? I get surprised, you know, every year I reevaluate my, my sheet, right? My rate sheet. And then I give myself a raise, right? And I kind of like jump up every year from like company to company, because at some point, some of the other companies are not okay with the rate, but that's okay. That's when it's time to move up, right? Mm-hmm. And I always amaze myself when like I'm on the field and I'm thinking to myself like, damn, I'm doing pretty good. I feel like I got a decent rate. And I run into another freelancer who's been doing it for like 20 plus years. And somehow we're at the bar talking rates, and I'm like, fuck, I got a long way to go. God damn.
Yeah. One of my partners sold about $60,000 of equipment. And I'm just like, bro, you have more equipment than any venue that I work at almost. You know what I mean? I mean, this is crazy. He's like, yeah, but like he's that serious though. You know what I mean? Like he's really, you know, shout out to Tully Definitive Productions. You know what I mean?
There it is.
But I mean, yeah, he's a professional. He's kind of a mentor too as well. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you know, he's been, you know, helping us a lot, you know, too as well. So.
And that's a good segue to the next topic, because I feel like in this industry, events, right, and music, it's very easy for people to do it because it's fun, right? And that's fine. That's how it should be. You should do something because you love it. But then there becomes that line between professionals and hobbyists, right? People that do shit like for real, and then there's people that are just kind of doing it when they can or whatever. For me, on my end, a lot of that is DJing. Right. And engineering, right? Like production and stuff. There's guys that'll just DJ on the weekends when they can. And then there's guys that are just like doing, you know, a bunch of shows a year full time and doing this and that. So for you guys as promoters, do you guys find yourself competing with other guys that, you know, they kind of just seem to just do it just because they want to turn up and, you know, like
all the time
drink and have fun and just because they like the party, not necessarily running it as a business.
But that line separates. You don't have to do any like throwing shade or none of that shit. Line separates it. You know what I mean? The hobbyists end up with the hobbyists. The professionals move forward.
Right.
You know, there's no For us, there's no, that. How do I say this without coming off like a douchebag or something? There's no competition for us. We don't feel that way. There ain't no competition.
Drop a bomb on that one right there.
We don't punch down either.
Yeah, because
No, I feel it.
we only compete with ourselves, man. And,
Right.
We don't care what anyone else is doing. Because if we did, we wouldn't be as successful as we are.
Mm-hmm.
We literally have people coming and calling us in different cities to go work with them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we are at the cusp of doing great things right now. Going into other cities and other markets, we've noticed a lot of backlash and a lot of, I guess you could say, jealousy in a sense, because we're out there pushing. We're pushing hard as hell. You know what I mean? We don't stop, man. And just because we might not be from the city, we know what people want, and we can do it in a professional manner. We can do it in a better way than somebody that grew up there that is just a hobbyist, because we are professionals. When we go in there, we hold that that presence too. You know what I mean? Like we're here to do business, and we're here to have people have a good time.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So.
What's the process like for booking like major artists? What are some of the things? Because I know there's been people like, oh, you know, it'd be great to have this and that. But there's a process, right? You got to reach out to the manager, this and that. Is there like a lot of stuff that goes into it when you guys are looking to plan a show with a major artist?
I would say, and this kind of goes back to, if you want to separate yourself from a hobbyist to a professional, and you want to be a serious contender in this game, my best like advice would be is to like pull out $100,000 and spend it on artists, and that will get you in the door, because that's what it takes. People want to work with people that can really, first off, that they've worked with before. You know what I'm saying? And how do you get there unless you've lost money with them first? So these agencies don't, like, you call an agency up, they'll shoot you the guy who sells 10 tickets, but they want $1,000 from him. You know what I mean? So you do it. You just, and move forward. You know what I'm saying? And we done so many shows like that, because the agencies know this is the first time us reaching out to them, and they're not going to give us like the cream. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, show us what you can do. And if we could make a show work with a artist that's very low on their tier, they're just more amped to work with us. You know what I mean? So, and we've done that. Like, we've done that consistently. And now we just kind of have access to a lot. You know what I mean? We have a wide range of people we work with now. You know what I mean? And a lot of agencies like us too, man, because we will overpay. You know what I mean? And I know that's kind of, in whatever, people are like, a lot of promoters will try to cut corners and pay the cheapest.
Yeah.
We do not do that. I think that's what separates us too. So when the agency comes out and they give us that first number, we'll take it. If the show does well, we're going to give them a bonus. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just consistently raise the bar when it comes to that. We're not here trying to negotiate cheap prices. We want the show. We're going to take it, and we're going to do the best that we can with it.
Right. Right on. What's one of the biggest lessons you guys can think of that you've learned?
Fuck, dude, don't let no one's ego bruise you. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people have bad ego, and like you said, sometimes there's a little jealousy and whatnot. But just again, if you ain't professional, you ain't professional. Ain't no
Keep
emotions
it moving.
in it. Yeah, ain't no emotions. It's all numbers.
Yeah.
And don't let people lessen your worth, man, because that was, I've tried to work with people that are just very difficult and stuff like that, and after a while, I don't care, man. I could go anywhere. You know what I mean? I can do whatever I want. We could go anywhere we want.
Yeah.
So, just know your worth, man. Really,
Nice.
that's what it is,
Now, what advice do you guys have for independent artists looking to book shows? What can you tell them from your side of the fence that you guys are looking for?
Okay, this is an easy one right here. Get your Spotify numbers up, man. Get your socials up. First thing you do, you want to come talk to us, man. Like, we will research you. Every good promoter will do it. And this isn't even to get paid. This is just to see if we want you on the show. So there's steps.
Damn, that's not even to get paid. Y'all hear that?
Yeah, because it's like we're trying to stack the lineup. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, and it's like we have to do our research. You know what I mean? And if we are impressed, there might be a chance to go to the next step would be able to maybe co-headline in your local area or something like that. For you to get paid, I mean, you got to have numbers, man. You got to have following, man. Like if I can pay you, you got to pay yourself. Like from what we're doing. So we book a show for you. You got to get enough people out there to at least pay for the money that you're asking for. And for us to get our minimum percentage, our promoter profit has to be incorporated in that.
Yeah.
And then we can, try to make money together. But I mean, there's a lot of showboating, and there's a lot of,
what is it?
Like showboating.
What is
like
that?
People showing off consistently.
Okay.
Like you'll see them and like they'll just act like they're doing like they've made it already when they haven't. Because if I go to, let's say, Frisco and I ask my boys up there, hey, would you book this guy? There's no way. You know what I mean? It's the same way out here. If they got a Frisco artist and wants to come out here and get paid, first thing I'm doing is researching it. And if he ain't got the numbers and everything like that, I'm like, there's like, I can't pay him. You know what I mean?
Is there a way to tell when those numbers are fake?
Well, I mean, yeah, of course. So you have to look at it. So that's why you look at multiple socials and multiple platforms of music. So YouTube's one, but Spotify. I mean, I could just go on there and I could look up
region shit, right?
Yeah, we look at what region are you most popular in?
You could have 10 million fans, but if they're all in fucking Kansas, I mean, what
Yeah.
does that do us out here?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We were gonna book an artist that I personally enjoy, you know what I mean? And then I looked him up, and he had 60,000 monthly listeners. I looked him up; it was all Midwest, East Coast. He was a West Coast rapper, but he had no pull out here.
Yeah,
so I had to pass on that opportunity because we try not to book shows. We try to book shows that we think are going to be successful.
Sure.
We do the music that we love, but then we're also kind of picky too as well.
Those shows are like the selfish shows. Like, oh, I love this one, I want to book them, and it's like you might not do well. Okay.
Yeah, but I like it though.
Yeah, fuck it, who cares? Yeah, we'll do those too. Like, we're gonna enjoy it. We get because it is about the scene too. You know what I mean? It's not all about money too.
Of course, yeah.
So sometimes it is like we just want to have a fun show for people. You know what I mean? Cheap prices. We know we're gonna lose on it, but it's okay because we're gonna be having a good time. Everyone's gonna have a good time. Nice. And, that's what it is. So. And
back to that other one though, that other question, that with the whole being able to check your numbers and see if they're fake or not or whatnot. I think a lot of that, you ever heard of that first 10,000 hours?
Yeah.
You ever heard of that? You have to put in that first 10,000 hours. You know what I'm saying? You got to put in that extra work. Not even if you're not getting the steam or the momentum you want, you're honing your craft. Mm-hmm. So that way the opportunity comes about, you fucking nail it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Those 10,000 hours are super fucking important.
Yeah, for sure.
I think
that's big facts.
One more thing I want to add to that is if you have a manager, make sure your manager is somewhat, I won't say wealthy, but somewhat is established as far as financially, because you can't have a manager that you guys make the same amount of money.
Like his cousin Ray Ray.
Yeah. Because your manager should be the one that's trying to get you on spots. He's paying for your travel. He's paying for your hotel. He's paying for you to be successful. All you have to do is do your music. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You can't.
That's crazy.
You can't worry about none of the financial stuff. Your manager needs to be the one that takes care of all that.
I've always heard about that, and I've heard two sides, and I'm not sure how to feel about it. Because working with artists, I see artists that are very self-sufficient, and then their manager is in charge of doing the stuff that they can't do. For example, do meetings, right, with promoters and other labels and stuff like that. And then there's other artists that are just like children. The artist is doing, their manager's doing everything.
Just being the artist,
and the artist is just making music, but I don't really know what is the healthy. I don't even know if you guys know. What was your opinion on that?
I mean, I've seen where mostly tour managers, man, will deal with a lot of
those fools go through the fucking hurdles, bro. So, the tour managers go through the shit.
Yeah, so tour managers, they're the ones who make sure you don't get too drunk before you go on stage.
Yeah.
They make sure you get your money, stuff like that. But you could be wilding out, you know what I mean, going crazy, doing drugs, with girl, doing all of this crazy shit, and you about to go on in 15 minutes.
Right.
You know what I mean? I've literally had to wake motherfuckers up. Bro, you're about to go on in 10 minutes, bro. Are you serious? You know what I mean? So, But they get up, man. Like the professionals will get up, brush it off, and they'll kill the set. You have no idea that they were just crashed
Next
the fuck
level
out.
lit, bro.
Yeah.
Next level, bro.
And then right when they get off, they're like back to be trash or some shit. But but on stage they'll kill it. As far as the management goes, I would just say like you wouldn't want to manage someone who was probably really reckless either. But I don't know. Sometimes the reckless ones do really well. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of, I guess you would have to just figure that out. But I definitely know a successful manager has to have a financial backing for those artists.
They gotta really believe in that artist.
Yeah.
They gotta really to be able to put all of their personal hard-earned money in this individual, you know, and hope that you get it back. Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's like in a producer world, you put all of your time and effort into creating an artist, right? You're making music with them. Sometimes you're not even charging them because you believe in them, right?
Yeah.
And you're hoping that it's going to come back tenfold, right? When this artist blows up or this song blows up. But that's time or whatever. When you flip it, when you put money, like, you know, it's going to cost, this ticket's $1,000, you know, this is that. That's just crazy.
Yeah.
Well, anyone really on their hustle, especially someone like you know, man, you throw the money in, the money's whatever. It's the time.
Yeah.
It's the time that's important. You ain't getting that back.
Yeah.
You make another 1,000. You'll always make another 1,000. But that hour or two, mastering, fucking engineering all of his shit, like that's gone.
And you know what sucks too is like when you're on the other side, when you're not the artist, right, and you believe in the artist, whether you're the manager or the producer or whatever, it's kind of like heartbreaking to see when the artist is not giving 100% because you feel like they're wasting talent.
Yeah.
You know, like that happens a lot as a producer. Sometimes the producer wants it more than the artist does. You know, we'll find an artist that's like super talented, really good, but their work ethic is just like not there. And it's just like, damn, if only you were right up here, like you would take off, dude, because your talent is there, but you're just a lazy fuck. You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, you know, there's a lot of laziness that plagues this industry for sure. So, yeah, people want to be famous and people want to be successful and people want to be promoters and people want to be producers and production and all this stuff, but they lazy.
Every once in a while, there's an artist that fucking wants it more than anything, though.
Yeah, there
there's
is.
Someone that comes through trapping every fucking night.
Yep.
Goes straight to work, hits the books, does the studio time. There's very rarely once in a while. There's one, bro.
There's
Those
just
are the
so
ones
many
that
of them.
break through, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the ones that make it. You know?
Yeah. And then there's all of the other masses that just, I think they want it, but when life kind of puts all these obstacles, and then they start to realize maybe they don't want it, you know?
Yeah, it's almost like that thing I was saying with like being that like full of positivity, but they don't do it.
Yeah.
Like you inside probably really want it, but if you really, really wanted it, you wouldn't, like, you don't sleep. You're fucking consistently working. You know what I mean? Like, and I know what it takes because there was a time where we weren't as putting as much effort in, and I know what it takes to be successful. It's putting a lot of fucking effort. Like, it's just really, really being focused and having your vision. You know, like, you know, it just takes a lot of time and effort. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure. And sometimes a little like redirection. You know, I know for me personally, there was one time when I was younger, I thought I wanted to be a rapper. I remember doing a show with you at like the Seeds of Change festival or event or whatever. Yeah. Like I was up there rapping or whatever. Cause that's what I thought I wanted. I remember that. Yeah. I thought I wanted to be a rapper. Right. Yeah. But then as I got older and the more music I made, the more I realized I enjoy the behind the scenes shit way more than the rapping part.
What were you rapping under? What was your name?
MC Maverick.
MC Mav? It was still
Mav?
Mav?
Yeah, it was just MC Maverick. And then when I started DJing, it was just Mav, whatever. But it's always been Maverick. But like then I realized like maybe rapping is not my thing, but doesn't mean music is not. So sometimes just redirection, you know. So
what would your advice be for someone who is rapping and is like about to find out that I might like engineering more, I might like mixing and mastering more? What would you say to someone that's kind of on the verge of moving on to that? I
would say do it, man. You just got to be 100% honest with yourself. Like you just got to sit yourself down and be like, okay, one, do I really, really, really want this?
Yeah.
Two, where am I in the skill level? Like, am I really good at it or do I just enjoy it? Like, I enjoy jujitsu. Am I good at it? I don't think I'm that good. You know what I'm saying? You know, but I enjoy it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I'm going to go try to be, you know what I'm saying? So that's just what I would say to anybody in that situation. Just be honest with yourself, because a lot of times we try to hang on to a dream, and it just hurts us more when if we just let go, we see all the other doors open. Right. And I've had more success doing what I do now than I ever did rapping. And I'm so glad. I don't even have the personality to be a rapper, dude. I feel like you got to have a certain personality for that. It's not my thing. But anyways, man, how far in advance do you guys plan your shows or book your shows?
3-4 months sometimes.
I mean, we've done a month before, 4 weeks. And we've done,
oh, wow.
We've done months. So, I mean, we're booked.
It kind of varies.
Yeah. So we're booked in so a lot of promoters get offered a lot of the same shows, so we try to be ahead of the game basically. So we'll be booked like in November. I was booking in June.
How far are we booked out now?
October. Yeah, and then I just had a conversation about booking in 2023 already. So, I mean, things move really quickly, and you know once the show's on the books, and it's like we'll kind of like it's on the back burner for a second until we're ready to announce. But I mean, we'll have shows on the books for months. Yeah. Before we come out and announce it, you know.
What happens? This has always been a question of mine. What happens when an artist can't make a show for reasons like they get sick or, you know, some serious shit? What happens?
So anything that's an act of God is considered a reason to, you know, get out of the the
contract.
Not have to. Well, they're not out of the contract because we could still make something work. So it's either we get our deposit back or we roll it over. You know, there's stuff like that. You know, so it's really up to the promoter at that point to decide if he wants the money back or if he wants to roll it over and get another date. Because you know, COVID was an act of God, right? So. Is what they considered it. So the industry took a big hit because we didn't lose, but all our deposits just went on like hold.
Yeah.
You know
for
what I mean?
Years.
Yeah. And then it was like, they really didn't have to give us the money back quickly because it wasn't their fault either. Because it was just a weird time I think for everybody.
Yep.
We had a lot of money out there, but then I heard some people, you know, my buddy had like 30 grand out there. So I was like, okay, I can't really complain about, you know, we were like half of that, you know what I mean? So, I mean, it still hurt though, you know what I mean? Because that money could have been invested and flipped in something else. We're just going to be sitting around, you know what I mean?
Was there ever a time during like the whole COVID situation that you guys considered switching industries?
For me, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. I was like, I don't think I want to do this anymore. I was like, I was really at the cusp. Like, I don't know, like I might want to like focus on something else, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no matter what I do, I put like 100% effort in, so I knew I'd be successful in the next venture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was just like, do I want to do this? I want to keep doing this. I'm like, it was like so many frustrating things that were happening, you know? And then in, I would say September, maybe ish, or no, before September, I was like, I'm gonna go full force with this again. Like if I'm gonna do this, it's gonna be like we're gonna go all hands on deck. Like we're gonna really do this. And then I haven't looked back since. You know what I mean? So
that's cool. I asked that because I personally was thinking about doing the same. That's actually why we're in here, right? I was like, I need another source of income that is not related to events because I was not sure if events would ever be a thing, you know? And like my entire livelihood depends on events.
Right.
So I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that anymore. So I was like, let me do the studio, you know, whatever. But you know,
it was like frustrating because like we lost all that money, you know what I mean? So I'm like, went through this phase of like, I'm angry. Like, you know, it's just, you know, I felt like kind of helpless. Like I couldn't get my money back. And then it's like, you know, it's just, I was like, man, I don't know if I want to do this. Like this experience was so like, just, you know, it was so bad that I was just like, I think I'm not going to do this anymore.
Yeah. Planning events is just so crazy. I've only had experience doing it once and it was a very small event.
Bro, logistics are fucking nuts.
And it was just a pain in the ass.
Yeah, logistics are nuts, bro.
I was like, man, I'm gonna just stick to the tech side of shit.
And then when you're working with artists, man, just you could set sound check stuff and times and shit. Don't mean no one's showing up. You know?
Yes.
Don't mean no one's showing
And
up.
you know, you kind of sitting there like, why, dude? Like, we have the schedule for a
Or
reason.
show up an hour late and be like, "Can I still sound check?"
Yeah,
No,
bro.
like hell no. And we move it forward.
You know who I was thinking about? Must have gone through so much shit during that lockdown was the dude from Insomniac, Pasquale.
Oh yeah,
Right? Because didn't his thing get like rescheduled like 3 times? They were like, EDC is happening this year or Hard Summer or something, and then like tickets would go out, and then all of a sudden, never mind, and like all this kind of shit, and that's like a massive.
Bro, that was a fucking nightmare.
You know what I'm saying? I
Just
could only
to see
imagine what
that.
he was going
Yeah.
through. And he's doing it now, but I can't believe he didn't like crack under pressure and just be like, fuck all this shit, I'm out.
well, like he for sure for him, he's like a huge team behind him as well. So
yeah,
he's just the face. You know what I mean? You know, not to discredit or nothing, but you know, there's a whole group of people behind them that are just as stressed out. You know what I mean? So,
Hundreds of people.
who knows how big his team is, but everybody, because you know these shows, those massive production shows, they're, you know, super expensive to put together.
Sure, yeah.
And there's so many people involved. You know what I mean? So it's just, you know,
What happens in a level like that, or just just when you're a promoter in general, and something happens in your event, like what happened to Pasquale in EDC when it used to be in LA, where they had to move it because somebody died, or recently at Astroworld, like.
Oh, that Travis.
Yeah,
Scott, man.
You know what happens? Like as a promoter, is that on the promoter or is that like on the venue?
it depends, man. Like, did they oversell tickets? Was the promoter aware of the overselling of tickets?
With Astroworld, they say that it was way over like.
Yeah, and then
the
it's
limit.
like, yeah, but it's like, was he notified? Or, you know, was the promoter notified? Even though he should have been, or he should have been that much on top of it. But I mean, you know, there's just different things, man. Like, of course, they want more people to come in. I mean, we all do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's you know,
What happened with that show is that people actually broke in. So there was like,
I mean,
there's
really,
no way.
yeah.
How do you
Yeah,
fix
how do
that?
you
You know,
fix that?
that reminds me of the that documentary Woodstock '99.
Yeah.
Right. That shit was crazy. Like I saw that documentary. Have you guys seen it?
nah.
No.
not yet.
Oh my God! Did you guys hear about Woodstock '99 though? Right.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
these fools were. It was in like an old military camp that was all like asphalt. So it was like no shade, nothing. It was hot as fuck.
Oh, you
And
falling down for sure.
the water was like super expensive, right? They were just like, it was such a shitty situation that by the third day, like women were getting raped. People were like, people were rolling around in what they thought was mud, but it was just shit from the porta potties because they were over full, right? They took the PA, the delay towers, they knocked them down and lit them on fire, and the entire festival caught fire.
Sounds like a riot.
That's what it became. It was crazy. It was
Right,
crazy.
bro.
And then I thought about that and I was like, man, events, anybody that plans events, you guys are crazy. Like,
Yeah.
so much shit is going on.
There's a lot, man. Like, of course, we haven't done something on that big a scale. We just got a new metal tour that we just bought out in Reedley, California on July 30th. And that's a couple thousand capacity there. You know what I mean? So
Boy,
Yeah.
you slide those plugs in like nothing, bro. Like, you slide those plugs in like silk. Dog.
yeah. So I mean, like, man, extra security, man. I try to tell people, like, like anywhere I go, you know what I mean? It's like, make sure to get the security that's needed. You know what I mean? Because venues need to do that because they need their people to feel safe. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's a big one. You know what I mean? And then if we're renting a area out or something like that, like a festival type thing like that, we make sure that we have enough security for everyone to be safe too. You know, so
Nice.
because you know, one second all this, you know, craziness happens, but if you have enough people to come and kind of like regulate it and kind of slow it down, like, you know, like, so yeah, we definitely don't cut corners when it comes to that.
Nice.
For sure.
Yeah, you gotta, along with the security, you gotta have the aid station. You gotta have the water station. You know what I'm saying? Shade if it's out in the open, like
Yeah.
Whatever that fucking
all that stuff matters,
was.
right? Like all that stuff
all
matters.
that matters, bro.
Yeah. No, that's what's up, man. What is one of the most memorable shows that you guys have done that you personally enjoyed? Like, oh, that was one of my favorites.
I had Devin the Dude come out, and I had AC Alone open up for him, and like, you know, I've listened to AC Alone since I was younger. You know what I mean? So that lineup was really cool. I got the other one was well, actually, with that show, Devin the Dude show, like we hung out with them. My wife picked them up, took them to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we chilled. Like, super nice guy, man. Just like one of the nicest rappers I've met that were a headliner. You know? Just, the other one was probably Czarface, which is Inspector Deck from Wu-Tang Clan, and Esoteric from Army of the Pharaohs. And so when I met Inspector Deck, he's one of my favorite Wu-Tang members, and I went upstairs right before you know, we finished the payment and stuff like that, and I got to hang out with them, drink with them a little bit, you know, chill with them. And, you know, I just told them, you know, like, this was kind of like a milestone in my career to actually be able to book you, you know what I mean? Because it was kind of a big deal for me to actually, you know, to book like one of the Wu-Tang members that I was most fond of, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
it was pretty cool.
That's what's up.
Mine are definitely the DRI show.
Yeah,
Damn, bro, that shit was wild. It was awesome.
Oh yeah,
right.
that was crazy.
This was put me on all sorts of punk, man. All
Yo,
sorts of punk shows, bro.
That's a good way to segue into the next question that I had. It's like, how do you guys stay on top of like what's current? Because this will be sentiment shit that I've never even heard of.
Yeah, bro.
And he's like, yo, this shit is what's popping right now. And I'm like, really? This is what's popping right now? Yeah. And I'm like, let me check it out. How do you do that, bro?
You know what?
You be on crazy. TikTok doing TikTok dances too?
Yeah, no, it's like, you know, we just pay attention, man. Because it's like my job. Like I said, like I just consistently look what's hot, like what's everyone listening to. I have kids too, you know what I mean? Which is like,
that helps, right?
That definitely helps.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, have you guys heard of this guy? Have you heard of this guy? You know, I just got offered like a show that I didn't really hear of any of them, but then when I dropped their name in the car, all the kids were like, oh shit, like what the fuck? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, he does that shit though, bro. He'll send me like 6 or 7 artists, IGs and YouTube videos. And he's like, oh, look this shit up. And I was like, oh, for sure. And I'm looking through, I'm like, what the fuck is I'm like, what am I listening to, dog? He goes, it's our next show. I'm like, oh fuck, all right.
But then I'll be like, look at the Spotify numbers, bro, like 7 million monthly listeners or like 5 million monthly listeners. Like, these guys are hella hot right now. Like, they're killing it. But like, you know, the average person won't know who they are. They're just like, you know, they're just like famous on TikTok and YouTube and stuff like that. But they're
one of my favorite artists right now is an artist this motherfucker sent me, Nate No Face. You ever heard of him?
No.
Yeah,
Nate,
oh, bro, you gotta check out Nate No Face, bro.
Yeah,
he's sponsored by what, Joker Clothing or whatever.
Yeah,
bro. His music's fucking awesome, dog. I fucking love Nate No Face, and it was another one of the links. Where he's like, hey, bro, check this fool out, and I'm like, god damn, this is great.
That's crazy. It's almost like the internet has like different communities, right? And that are people are like popping in their own kingdoms. You know what I mean? And those people are the ones that come out and see them in the shows, right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty sick, dude.
And plus, like, I love talking about what I do too. So like, I won't engage in a lot of conversations, you know, all the time. But like, if I do, I love talking about what we do. You know, it's exciting to me still. Yeah, it's fun. You know what I mean? So
yeah. What is some of the goals you guys have for like the next 5 years for your company? What do you guys want to see yourself doing?
Residual income for sure. You know what I mean? We want to make it where like we have like we're actually living off this, you know. That's definitely a goal for me and him. You know what I mean? The company does well, we make well, but it's not, we want more, you know what I mean? And it's not enough yet. You know what I mean? And we've yet to take 1 cent from the company.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, that's another thing. A lot of motherfuckers are like ready to just,
pay themselves.
Yeah, ready to pay themselves. Like we don't pull no money.
Yeah,
we're not gonna pull any money either.
And artists too. Another goal, like the goal of like who you want to book next, or like what's the next person. Like I would love to book fucking Jesse Reyes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just get some, like, you hit that milestone. It's like, all right, what's the next one we want to book? Like,
that's sick. That's sick. Because you can really, like, gauge it, you know? They have a name, so you're like, that's the artist that I want, and you work towards that, right?
Yeah, like my buddy, I was telling you about, like, my homie Tully from Definitive, he booked, like, War, you know what I mean? It was a very expensive show, like Los Lobos and, like, other, like, huge names that, you know, like, we're talking about, like, you know, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 shows and stuff, and we're not there yet, you know. But I feel like we're gonna be there, you know. And those are that's definitely a goal for I know for both of us, is like we want to do like massive big shows, you know. These shows are great though, don't get me wrong, the smaller ones are great,
But that's you got to always progress, right?
yeah, because we started at 100 cap, and then we were doing 300 to 400 caps, and now we're starting to see that that's not big enough for us anymore. Like the 3 to, I mean, it's still good. It's still, believe me, there's still a place for it, but we're kind of looking at like 1,000 cap type venues.
Hell
like
yeah,
minimum. You know what I mean? Because we just have so much more that we can bring. Because when we have like a 300 to 400 cap, like we can't stack lineups, right? So where our budget can't be crazy, you know what I mean? Because it's not going to make sense. Like nobody's going to pay $50 for this show.
Yeah, they dictate a crazy ass ticket price.
Yeah, but if we have 1,000 cap, we could charge $20, and then we have like 3 headliners or 4 headliners on it, because, or you know, we have thousands of like 2,000 cap or whatever, you know what I mean? So we could gauge it where it could be like, oh yeah, it's. But if we went to the smaller venue, we're charging like $40-$50 a ticket. Like it just doesn't.
yeah.
Like, you know, we want bigger caps. We could charge less and get a bigger lineup.
And that's kind of part of the formula, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like your deposit and your total cost for your artist, plus your venue cap gives you your ticket price, which is how much money you can make.
Right.
Yeah.
That's, you hear that? They're dropping knowledge over here. So damn, I had some. God, lost my train of thought.
Just looking in my eyes.
You I lost my train of thought there. Okay, let's see. That's why I got some show notes here. So, what are some skills that have helped you guys in this industry? Like, I don't know, just maybe being somebody that's good at talking, or any skills.
Patience. Patience for me. 100% patient.
He is patient with me.
Yeah.
No, patience, bro. I mean, there are some crazy motherfuckers in the industry, and there's some crazy fools that are just like hangabouts. You know what I'm saying? I've been offered a job at SuckaPunch by people that I have no idea who they are, like 4 times. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been offered a job at SuckaPunch so many times. I'm just like, oh yeah, that'd be cool.
I'll look into it.
Yeah, I'll be down, bro.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. That did happen. It did happen. So.
That's crazy, bro. Somebody offered you a job.
Yeah,
he's
like,
part company.
They're like,
he's
my
part
homie-
owner of the company. So
my homie's got you, dog. We'll get you a job, bro. Don't worry about it. I'm like, oh, for sure, dog. No, thank you, bro. I'd appreciate it. Like, just being patient, man.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious, dude. Wow. I would have loved to see his face if you guys set up some sort of meeting, and then and then he's all like, "I'm gonna set up a meeting with my homie and his partner. All right, I'll be there."
Yeah.
You know, that's funny. Anyways, man, what about you, man? What's the skill that you've seemed to help you out in this industry?
I'm really good at committing all my time to something that I'm really passionate about. So I don't know if that's probably
Commitment
it is
skill.
a skill set, because it's probably the most
Commitment's a
important
big
if I have
skill,
to think about it. Because anything I do, I put 100% in. You know what I mean? So like, I graduated from Desert Winds High School. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but it's a continuation school, right? Leaving there, like I sold insurance and stuff like that. Next thing you know, I went to school. I had like a, not the best education, but then I ended up getting a degree in biology. You know what I mean? And then after that, like I kept pursuing more education. And I became a nurse, and then I never stopped doing. It's never stopped moving, because anything that I wanted to do, I would complete it. You know what I mean? So then when I got to this, I just like completely engulfed myself with it too, just like I'd done everything else. Like, just because I might not have had like the best education or the best upbringing as far as doing like in business or anything. Like I had none of that. I didn't know any of this. You know what I mean? But the way that I can just engulf myself in something that I really feel passionate about is like probably my best skill that I have, because I feel like I could honestly do anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's sick, dude. That's sick. The fact that you said you feel like you can honestly do anything, it's crazy, because I feel like all of us, we can really do whatever we want, but the majority of the people don't think that way.
Yeah. This was being all modest and shit though, bro. Like he puts his work in. He's got 16 hours sometimes. on just a single job, or even when he was doing his RN shit.
Yeah.
He's fucking back-to-back shifts type thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it then, but that's back to what we were talking about. That's all it takes. You got to put that crazy work in.
The work ethic is real.
Yeah.
The force is strong with this one.
Yeah, it's funny because like I get like all these text messages and emails that go back to my nursing job and stuff like that, and I'm just like, nah, because I'm so busy like shuffling through emails and text messages already, and then when I get that one, I'm just like delete. You know, I got time for that, don't worry. You know what I mean?
That's funny.
Yeah,
That's funny. All right, let's see here. I got a few more questions I wrote down here. These are actually notes that I have wrote down from the previous date that we had, because you know how we're gonna do the interview before. Okay, so this one is actually really good because I've had some experience with this. So why do you guys think that sometimes promoters have like a negative thing attached to the name promoters, right? Like some of them can be really like slick, you know, kind of like not very trustworthy people. And these are like shady motherfuckers, right?
Shady motherfuckers?
Why do you guys think that that's a thing? And what do you guys have to say about that?
You know, it's kind of funny. You call, you know, if a promoter calls another promoter a janky promoter, man, that's a slur word right there. That is like
fucking fighting, bro.
It's like what? You know, why are you janky, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because none of us want to be janky.
Of course,
none of us want us to, like, or you know, most of us, I could say. Some of them will be like, fuck it, I'll do what I do. You know, like they won't really, you know what I'm saying. But for as far as we go, and a lot of people we know, like we don't ever want to be category guys, right? That we want to be like that. We do good business consistently.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I really don't think that there's anybody that could ever say that they worked with us that we did bad business. We don't owe anybody money. We've paid everybody that we needed to. You know what I'm saying? Like we've always done, you know, good business. And man, we lost our asses for years. You know what I mean, too. And this is like fucking show loss, you know, before it was like show loss $500. This is what I always think is funny. Promoters want to be promoters, but it's like, can you lose $2 to $3 grand in one night? You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of a move, you know what I mean? Because we'll do that shit. I mean, we really, at the time, sometimes we can't, but we still do it because we're not going to be like janky, you know what I'm saying? Like we're going to make sure that we pay everybody out, even though like, oh my God, we thought the show was going to be a success, but it wasn't. You know, fuck it. It is what it is. Yeah. Move on to the next, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And those things hurt us when they used to happen, you know what I mean? Because it took away from our pot in order to buy more shows. You know what I mean? So
it's just more like being just upfront from the get-go, you know? Being better at communicating, which is what would help most promoters. But most of the time, guys are very like, and I can't even say most of the time because I'm not in that market too often, but the very few times that I've got into like the club scene or whatever, I've left with like a very bad taste in my mouth. Like I don't want to go back to that market. And then I just see all the memes. This is coming from like the DJ side of things. The memes from like DJs versus promoters. Yeah. Right? There's like a lot of it.
Isn't there like a social media page for that shit?
No, that's,
is there?
No, that's agents versus promoters.
Agents versus promoters.
That's funny as hell.
Oh, what is that? What is that relationship like? Why is that a thing? Agents versus promoters?
Yeah.
Like booking agents?
Yeah, booking agents. Because there's always like we're against each other, but we have to work with each other.
Yeah, it's the same thing with DJs and promoters. Yeah.
So we have to be like, you know, there's always negotiations. There's always like the back and forth. Like they're trying to make as much money. We're trying to save as much money. You know what I'm saying? Like, is this?
Can you give me a quote? What's your offer?
You know, I definitely know how to. I work around that.
I like that.
But that's always the thing. Nobody wants to give a number first.
Yeah.
Because I want to shoot myself in the foot. He don't know how much I was going to offer. Yeah. You know what I mean? So we're just like, what you know.
So that's hilarious.
It's kind of funny, man. But no, I think also with DJs, man, like I think DJs should get paid well. You know what I mean? They do a service. You know what I'm saying? So.
And that's really all it comes from is that so many DJs still DJ for promotion and drinks. You know?
Yeah.
And it's just like, when was the last time you tried to pay your rent with promotion and drinks? You know what I'm saying?
But I get that too, though, man, because they're just out to have a good time. I used to do I used to book shows. I get $50 and free drinks. Man, it's kind of funny because I kind of love that in a sense at a time in my life. It was super fun.
As a DJ?
No, as a promoter.
Okay.
So I would get like $50, book the show. I got free drinks. If the show did well, I got like a little bonus. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna make like minimum $50, maybe $150, but I'm like drinking all night, hanging out, chilling.
Okay.
So I remember those times being a lot less stressful.
Sure. Yeah.
So there was like fun in it, you know what I mean? And that's probably like when I was more of a hobbyist at the time, because it was just like something fun to do on the weekend, you know what I mean?
Right. Right. It keep your social life fun and exciting.
Yeah, and then like I'm sure there's DJs that like, man, I want to just go out, have fun, and they probably get a little bit of something. They ain't enough, maybe a little gas, some food, some beer, you know, but they're really not trying to like be established in the scene, you know, or like in the industry.
Sure. Yeah. No, I guess I could see that. You know, it's just the thing that, like I said, I stay away from clubs for that reason. I feel like there's not a lot of money in there for the DJ side of things. Right. And then second, I'm just more of an introverted person. Like the club life is not my thing. But recently, in the past year, during the lockdown, my business partner and I decided to start doing these like pop-up things, right? Where like these small businesses would do pop-ups, right? And just set up shop at a parking lot somewhere. They're like pretty cool events, right? People come and they buy from all these vendors or whatever.
I'm definitely going to talk to you about that later.
Yeah.
So
I'm
make a note on
that.
Like,
where you going with that?
Tell me more.
All right. So a buddy of mine was like, hey man, I'm having a pop-up. Like, can you come and DJ for 3 hours? And the first one we did was in a really cool location somewhere on the boulevard. So it was a cool little venue, a set for 3 hours. All I had to do is bring a table, one speaker, right? Because it was really small, right? And it was in a lockdown. So there was literally nothing to do, right? There was no events. There was no gigs. My buddy and I were like, we literally don't have anything to do. Let's just go. Okay. So we did that, right? And what happened is it spiraled into a lot of other vendors wanting to do their pop-ups and having us go DJ. And we're like, okay, we'll do this. Well, I mean, we don't have anything to do, right? But now fast forward to like when the world opened up, now we have like real gigs. And we pretty much stopped doing that work because what happened is we would end up, every vendor reached out and said, hey, we're having an event. We charge all these vendors an X amount for a spot, but we'll give it to you for free if you want to come and DJ and you can promote your business, right? And it's like, then we just end up, because we're playing to an audience of people that want to do the same thing, right? We just end up impressing people that want us to go do their event to impress more people, right? And we were just in this circle. So then we just decided to like, we can't, because weddings are coming back, corporate events are coming back, and those are like some serious gigs, and they all happen to fall on the same weekend, right? So it's like we're turning down these weekends because we committed to this pop-up 2 weeks ago, right? And then now this wedding came up and now we can't do it and this and that. So we decided to stop doing that. But that's where like the whole like DJing for promotion thing catches my attention, because like at some point, you know, as a DJ, you gotta like start making some money, you know, at some point, right? You can't be DJing for promotion forever. You know, there's got to be a time where you kind of level up your career, you know, and you got to keep going. And it's okay to start at a certain point, but you got to keep going. And then like my problem with that is that some DJs just don't get it. Like they just want to, they're undercutting a bunch of people and they're doing it for like a basket of fries and a beer, you know, and it's just like, all right, I get it, but
yeah, but like they're gonna fall off somewhere, because let's say somebody wants to work with me, right? And they're a DJ. I'm like, I need a tech list. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to scrutinize the list. You know what I mean? And if you're coming with this, whatever, because I need to have this artist, I need to have good stuff. And you know what I mean? So eventually they're going to fall out, because it's like they won't be able to handle, unless they don't want to do shows like that, of course. But if they do, like, so every like, you probably know, every sound engineer, every DJ or anything like that, I should be able to say, give me your tech list, give me your one sheet, whatever like that. And you should be able to, boom, I got it right now. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then like you email it to me within 10, 15 minutes, you know what I mean? So you shouldn't have to be like, oh, I got to make it, or I got to update it, I understand. But you know what I mean? Like you should have that shit readily available. Most DJs won't even know what a one sheet is. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be like, what? And it's going to be like, okay, can't work with them. You know what I'm saying? Like right off the bat, because I mean, we need to work with professionals, you know what I mean? So eventually it'll be, you know, they'll just be able to just do those type of things. You know what I mean? They won't really advance further, you know?
Yeah. Right on, right on. I feel that. All right, man. So to end this segment, let's go ahead and finish up with two little things. First one is called story time. So this is when I ask the guests to share an interesting story of something that happened to them that's related to their industry. So maybe a crazy thing that went down while you guys were at a show, or like a show gone wrong. Like, I don't know. Usually it's pretty funny stuff, right? Do you guys have anything you want to share that you think of?
What's the first thing that comes to mind for you?
I don't know, man. We'll find some random weird stuff at the end of the night, man.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I found literally like G strings like in the middle of the floor.
Oh, geez.
Like, I'm like, how did this happen? How did this get here? You know, I mean,
You ever find wigs?
No, but I'd be like, I'll go into like a spot that's kind of like pretty secure or something like that, and like people sneak through and like be with the headliner. So when I go talk to the headliner, there's like, you know, some chick that like snuck through and stuff. I'm like, man, get your ass out. So they'll be cool about it. You know, usually the headliners they're pretty chill, but sometimes they're like, dude, what the fuck happened? You know what I mean? But yeah, man. I mean, yeah. At the end of the nights, man, sometimes you just find some weird shit, man.
Well, what about the prop guy for the Dickies?
The prop guy for the Dickies. What did he do?
Was it with the Dickies?
Yeah, I don't remember which one.
Dude, Homeboy was just on stage like throwing the headliner props.
Oh yeah,
He's just throwing Homeboy props, and he was like a dedicated prop guy.
And bodyguard and like
personal escort. It was great.
Yeah,
nice.
It was great.
That's funny. All right, cool, man. This last segment, overrated, underrated. So like, I'll say something, you guys say whether it's underrated, overrated. All right. So like in the world of like the digital age, right? Social media is like a big thing or whatever. Flyers.
Like physical people?
Physical flyers. Like, you know, still putting them on cars and all these things. Is that underrated, overrated in 2022?
Underrated
for sure.
Yeah?
And I could explain on that.
Yeah.
You need to like, there's a study done about like how much stuff that it takes for us to absorb it, right?
Yeah.
So that goes like, it shows like someone sees it on social media, right? Someone sees that their friend posted it. Somebody sees a poster. Somebody sees a flyer, and then somebody talks about it. And after all those things happen, they know the show now, or they know what you're.
They finally actually look at it. You know what I mean? They'll finally actually read it. They'll see it on their Instagram. They'll scroll past it. Their homie will talk about it. They'll ignore it. They'll get the flyer in their hand. They're like, "Oh yeah, I heard about this."
So it's like you hit every single avenue. We don't know which one's gonna hit at what time.
Yeah.
But like you need to be engulfed that much. You know what I mean? And it's like because we have so much stuff that's like on that we just like, you know, on social media that we just whatever. So you need a little bit of everything. You know what I mean? So
okay, I like that. Overrated, underrated radio ads. We live in a time where there's ads and other things now. So is that still a thing? Underrated.
That's still a big audience, man. It's still in everyone's.
I guess for me,
podcasts are the same fucking thing. Underrated.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just depends. You know what I mean? Like I don't know the statistics on that yet. You know what I mean? I don't say that we wouldn't do it. Mm-hmm. I mean, we do a billboard, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how successful that is, but I mean, we feel like it's really successful, you know, it gets a lot of hype, you know what I mean?
I feel like it must be really hard to like be able to gauge a billboard, you know, be able to tell how much traffic came in from a billboard.
We do have like people asking like, hey, like, how did you hear the show? You know what I mean? And we get all these different responses. Oh, we saw a flyer, we saw a poster, we saw the billboard, we saw this, we saw that. I don't know which one is the main factor and that's why I said the basing it on that study that I heard, like you got to see, you consistently see it and then you finally like absorb it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that shit's underrated for sure.
For sure.
So yeah, I'll definitely, cause it's another tool.
I feel like it kind of goes to what you said about the flyer. Right?
Yeah.
Like people are seeing on social media, they got it on the car flyer, they turn the radio on and there it is. Right. So
yeah. And then so it's just, it's another thing in your face. So yeah, I'll say underrated on that.
Like 100.9, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all tap into everybody's morning drive.
Yeah.
It's like why would
that's
true. Like
that's
underrated
true.
as hell.
Yeah, so that's a whole nother avenue of people that listen to you guys all the time. Mm-hmm. So just
there it is. Okay, Eventbrite, overrated, underrated.
We are gonna say overrated because we are direct affiliates of TicketWeb that's owned by Ticketmaster.
Yeah.
There it is. I like that. Desert raves, like the underground desert party things.
I mean, that's it just depends, I guess. I mean, I'm fucking
I mean,
adult homes. I don't do that shit no more.
I mean, those are fun. I mean, I used to go to them back in the day. I would definitely say underrated. I'll be like, if you're young and or even whatever, you want to go out have some crazy time, go. Or if you've never done it, go do it. Especially you live in a desert, go to a desert rave. Go see what it is.
All right, pay to play shows.
Okay, so
I'm gonna let you do that one. I'm gonna let you do that one.
So yeah, that's a tricky question. You know what I mean? We don't do pay to play per se. We do mostly like ticketed deals. You know what I mean? So we want people to push themselves to be on the show, right? So and then with that, the artists get to make money on it too as well. So they get a discount. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So. It's really just an avenue to ensure that the artists are going to push themselves because to get the tickets out there, which will bring people in. Because I don't want someone to pay to play. I want someone to get tickets in people's hands. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing because anybody could just buy a slot,
and then no one show up.
Yeah, nobody shows up. We want people that are going to be pushing themselves, that they got tickets and they're pushing tickets in people's hands. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's more than just you giving me money and being like, I'll be at the show. You know, we don't want that. We want people to go out there. I got tickets. Like, let's get this going. You know what I mean?
If you're having like a small festival, right? Nothing major. How do you, and you're not booking like major artists, right? Major touring acts or nothing. There are a lot of independent local artists. How do you go about putting the lineup together and knowing like who goes in what order?
Man, it's kind of funny. Nobody wants to go first. Nobody wants to go last always. So that's kind of difficult. So what I do is, I usually, once the lineup is done, sometimes we'll be like, who wants to open? Like I'll have a slot open maybe, and then I have a slot to close. And then we'll just like kind of do that. Those are pretty fun too because there's usually no commitment with that. It's just like come out, have some fun. Let's see what happens. We'll do a cheap show, $5-10, cover sound. You know what I mean? Have the DJ come out for promotion. And
the vibe's important too. You know what I mean? You're not booking alternative rock for like a graffiti show or something like that. You know what I mean? So
so like I mean we want we still like local shows. We'll start doing them ever so often, you know what I mean, just to like give back to the community and the scene, you know what I mean, because we are from this valley. And I think there's a lot of talented people here, man. And they might not have their numbers up yet, but I believe some of these artists might really break through soon enough. I feel like this valley is also at the cusp of having another like mainstream rapper, you know what I mean, that comes from here. There's just a lot of people involved, you know what I mean, and we see it as promoters, you know what I mean, and the city sees it, and, the community sees it, these people that are out there really, really pushing.
One of my favorite locals right now is Capo.
Yeah, shout out to Capo, shout out to Dank Puffs.
One of my favorites right now, bro.
There it is.
Capo is, Dank Puffs is fucking sick. Capo and Dank Puff, amazing hustle, amazing grind. Those fools do
we got Profound too, Profound LA.
You guys done shows with them already? Or?
Yeah. So they're, I mean, Blood Cousins, they got a good following. I mean, there's just like a lot of artists out there that are just really, really pushing.
They're real business too, ain't they? Didn't they buy sneakerheads?
I'm not sure, but like I know they got a spot, and but I mean, like, people are just out there really just pushing. You know what I'm saying? I got my homies from the squad. Shout out to Lotron, shout out to Ian. What I am. Shout out to Al. You know what I mean? So like, there's a lot of people that's out there consistently pushing and like trying to do their thing. You know what I mean?
And you can always like you can see it. Like you can see like the proof is in the progress. Like you said, Blood Cousins. Like I interviewed Lil Scotty P before he was linked with Blood Cousins, and it was cool because his music was dope, right? And then we've done like one interview per year. Is what it's been. And then like the next time I seen him, he was like on another level. And then like now he's like it's just progression, progression. And so that's dope. That's dope to see that. And I think you are right. Like I think like this valley's due for like another major rapper that's gonna come from here.
Yeah, so like the last major rapper we had is Afro Man coming out Friday at the King Bar, April 8th. Get your tickets right now.
Swear to God.
You like how I set that up? I seen that coming. I seen that coming on the last one. Just like I gotta alley oop this one. Right
Get your Colt 45s, your 2 zigzags. Shout out to Palmdale. Let's do that, man.
I mean, not only rapper, we're probably looking at another major producer coming out soon. You know, someone from out here.
And not only that, man, there's a lot of good punk bands out there too, man. There's a lot of people that are killing it. You know what I mean? Like, there's just, a lot of bands out here that are just doing really well. You know what I mean? And they're just consistently pushing themselves. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
fuck, dude.
It's cool, man. Because this is not like it used to be so small, right? And it's just continuously the city's just growing, getting bigger and bigger. More and more people are moving in, and like more and more things are happening. Right. I always hear that there's like they're gonna do something big, and I've been waiting for it. My girlfriend is a barber, so she works at a barber shop, and she's always hearing like, "Oh yeah, they're gonna open a Dave and Buster's here," or like, "Oh yeah, they're gonna open." Supposedly people work for the city, and so she hears all these things. And I've been waiting for that to happen forever. Like I'm like, when the fuck is that gonna happen?
Oh yeah.
But I feel like it will in like the next 10 years. Like this place is just growing. Like a lot,
This actually got a compliment from a pretty big agent that I respect and work with, and he was like, "Man, you tackled Palmdale." He's like, no promoter has been able to do that in so long, and he gave me that compliment today, and it's a pretty big deal in the game. You know what I mean? So I was just like, I was like, "Thank you, man, appreciate that." Because of course, he doesn't know all the heartache and money that we lost, man. So
right.
I mean, people see us sell out shows and do all this. They have no idea how much money we've invested in this and how much money we've lost in this. And just kept pushing forward. You know what I mean? In a 30-day period, we've sold out 3 shows in California so far. So, I mean, that's dope. And we just continuously keep pushing. You know what I mean? We ain't gonna stop.
Yeah, that's dope. SuckaPunch Productions, man. Let them know one more time the latest show that you got coming up.
All right, so we got a punk show this Thursday, April 7th, over at the Transplants. It's with Murphy's Law out of New York. They're the OGs of hardcore punk out in New York. After that, we got Afro Man, April 8th, and then we got what's up?
VGS.
We got Voodoo Glow Skulls. We got in May. We got Guttermouth in May. We got Dizzy Wright, April 30th. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of stuff, man. We got some other stuff that we can't announce yet, but there's a lot coming to this valley. We're gonna keep going and keep pushing.
Do you guys got a website where they can go to like check out what shows are coming up or anything like that?
So, talking about the flyers and all that stuff, like we don't have a website, but I mean, I wonder if that's another tool that we are not utilizing. You know what I mean? Because everything's just on IG, man. Like it's IG,
social, bro.
Twitter, whatever.
I don't know.
Facebook, like
I don't know much about the side of events where it comes to like planning events as a promoter, but I would just say like maybe a website is because, for example, anybody that's interested in like Insomniac events, they just got to go to insomniac.com. Right.
True,
and they see the list of everything that is coming up, So it just maybe something to think about or whatever.
Yeah. We might tap into that. That sounds interesting. I mean, we've thought about it, but we just never, our reach is mostly through IG, and Facebook, you know what I mean? And then now being with TicketWeb and Ticketmaster, I know that helps out a lot too because they get our shows out there pretty well.
Yeah. Do you guys find that like IG ads help? Or have you guys not ran IG ads?
Yeah, we spend.
I'm looking into that.
Our budget is like, I don't know. We spend probably $600 a month on ads. You know what I mean?
For like all the shows.
For all the shows. I was just running numbers today on all our ads. It's kind of crazy. But then, I have another buddy. He spent like $2,600 in like 2 months. So I was like. Yeah. Every time I think that we're our numbers might be impressive,
there's always another level, right?
2,600. I was like, we spent like 1,500. I thought that was kind of impressive.
I mean, there's always going to be someone ahead of you, bro.
Yeah, what I'm saying? So that's cool, man. You just got to keep pushing forward. Thank you guys for coming through, man. I really appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Real quick, we didn't touch about this like during the interview, but Gama and I actually met years ago.
Yes,
through Post Crew, right? My breakdancing days, and stuff. So it's crazy how things kind of work and stuff, So here we are now.
So your resume reads like breakdancing, rapping, engineering,
Yeah, yeah.
masters.
Like that was the whole thing that got me into it was b-boying and graffiti, right?
Right.
My dad showed me this movie when I was a kid called Breaking, right?
All right, yeah.
And that's what like did it for me. From there I got into the whole hip hop thing, you know what I'm saying? So I always say that when I do get married, it's going to be like my second marriage because my first marriage is hip hop, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, shit. All right.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah.
When you fell in love with hip hop.
Yeah, when I fell in love with hip hop, yeah, there it is, man. But anyways, man, thank you guys for coming through.
Yes, sir.
This is another episode of Squad Talk. We'll catch you next time. Peace.
Yep.
Squad.